After 3 years, we now have the latest version of Scrum Guide, the November 2020 edition. Content-wise, it's quite a big change. I personally think these changes make it easier for the first-time readers to understand Scrum roles, events, artifacts, and rules in just 13 pages. So let me take you through the Scrum Guide 2020. Each element of Scrum framework serves a specific purpose and is essential to the overall value delivered and the results realized from the use of Scrum. The version of Scrum Guide gives more options to Scrum teams to explore what techniques are most suitable for the problem they are trying to resolve. Most important change is that Scrum Guide has become less prescriptive. You'll find that in all roles, events, and artifacts. The Scrum Guide 2020 now gives more freedom to the Scrum teams to choose the techniques and manage their team to align themselves to achieve the goals. According to the new guide, Scrum is founded on empiricism and lean thinking. Their knowledge of past and experience is supported by reduction in waste and focus on what is essential. The second change we come across is the development team is now referred to as developers in Scrum Guide 2020. Now there is only one team, and that is Scrum team. This change makes it easier to encourage the product owner and the developers to collaborate towards achieving the same product goal. Previously, there were confusions when the term development team was used, as the people assumed that the development team is not the same team as the one with product owner. It has been clearly mentioned in the Scrum Guide 2020 that the Scrum team should be split into multiple cohesive Scrum teams if it has more than 10 people, whereby each team is focused on the same product. These cohesive Scrum teams share the same product goal, product backlog, and also product owner. This implies that now the Scrum team size is limited to maximum 10 members, including product owner and Scrum Master. The word estimates has also been completely removed from Scrum Guide 2020, and instead the word sizing is used. The developers are responsible for the sizing practice. Other attributes which were mandatory earlier can now be chosen on basis of domain in which Scrum team is working on. In Scrum Guide 2020, the third thing that changed is the removal of the condition of 10% of the capacity of the developers to refine the product backlog. This removal is very welcoming, as previously Scrum teams spent some time off sprint distracting themselves from ongoing work in refining the product backlog, rather than doing the work on daily increment. The fourth change in the Scrum Guide 2020 is related to the conduct of daily Scrum. In Scrum Guide 2020, the three questions that were suggested to be used during the daily Scrum were: what did I do yesterday? What will I do today? What are the impediments faced? Have been removed. The developers are given the freedom to select the structure and technique to run the daily Scrum, as long as the daily Scrum is focused toward the sprint goal and the actions for the next day cadence get finalized. And that brings me to the new word, cadence. 5 Scrum events are the cadence that helps Scrum teams to inspect adequately. The fifth change is related to the Scrum Master role and his accountability. The accountability of all the roles has been clearly defined, especially that of Scrum Master. The Scrum Master is accountable for establishing Scrum as defined in the Scrum Guide. And what is even more important is the Scrum Master is also accountable for the Scrum team's effectiveness. It implies that the failure of the Scrum team in delivering value to the customers is related to the ineffectiveness of the Scrum Master. The sixth change is the introduction of product goal. This was a long awaited update as it defines the long-term goal for the product and helps the product owner and the Scrum team to have a clear sprint goal, which is related to the higher level goal of achieving the product goal. It is product owner's responsibility to develop and explicitly communicate product goal. The seventh change is the introduction of final destination known as commitment for the sprint goal, the definition of done, and also the product goal. The purpose of Scrum is to deliver a done increment. In previous versions of Scrum Guide, the definition of done and the sprint goal miss the essential link between each other, as definition of done was defined in a separate topic and not really related to the different artifacts and elements of Scrum. But in Scrum Guide 2020, sprint goal is the commitment for the sprint backlog. The definition of done is the commitment given for the increment, and product goal is the commitment for the product backlog. The eighth change is the term self-organizing team has been modified to self-managing team. A self-managing team has more authority and it is empowered to decide the division of work, that is, who does what, when, and how. The ninth notable change in Scrum Guide 2020 is in the sprint planning stage, where the third topic to be discussed is introduced. Now the Scrum team will discuss what they will work on and how to work on it, and the newly added third topic is why the current sprint is valuable. This update is important as the Scrum team gets a purpose when they answer the why for the sprint and gets focused in achieving the same in terms of the sprint goal. Tell us what you like about new Scrum Guide in comment section below. We'll return with more videos that will help you in excelling at your work. So don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.